Have you ever been so thirsty that you drink from the first puddle you saw? Now imagine you're living 40,000 years ago. No bottles, no filters, no taps. Just rivers, lakes, swamps, and the terrifying possibility that one wrong sip could make you so sick you wouldn't survive the week. Finding food was important, but finding safe water? That was often the difference between life and extinction. So how did ancient humans know what was safe to drink? Let's travel back to the Stone Age and find out. At first glance, finding water seems easy. The Earth has rivers, lakes, streams, rain, snow, and underground springs. But prehistoric humans had a problem we rarely think about today. Not all water is safe. Thousands of years before anyone understood bacteria or parasites, contaminated water could quietly spread deadly diseases. Yet somehow, humanity survived. How? The answer lies in thousands of years of observation. Imagine you're part of a small hunting group somewhere in Ice Age Europe. You've been walking for hours. Everyone is thirsty. Suddenly, someone spots a muddy pond. Do you drink? Maybe, but maybe not. Over generations, humans learned something incredibly important. Moving water was usually safer than still water. Streams flowing down hills were constantly refreshed. Ponds, on the other hand, collected mud, animal waste, insects, and rotting plants. People didn't know about germs, but they knew one thing. Groups that drank from clean-looking streams usually stayed healthier. Groups that relied on stagnant pools often didn't. Experience became their greatest teacher. But rivers weren't perfect either. Imagine dozens of animals gathering upstream, a dead deer floating around a bend, or heavy rain washing dirt and waste into the water. Ancient humans had to become expert observers. They looked for water that was clear, cold, flowing, and free from strange smells. Sometimes they even tasted tiny amounts first before everyone else drank. A risky job, but much safer than blindly rushing into the water. One of the best places to find clean water was something surprisingly simple: natural springs. These are places where groundwater naturally rises to the surface. Because the water had filtered through layers of rock and soil, it was often much cleaner than nearby rivers. Many archaeologists believe prehistoric camps were frequently built close to reliable springs. Even thousands of years later, many modern towns still exist because those same springs continue to provide fresh water. But what happened when there weren't any rivers at all? Imagine living in a dry grassland or crossing a desert. The landscape looks completely lifeless. No lakes, no streams, nothing. Except animals. Ancient humans carefully watched wildlife. Birds flying in the same direction every evening often meant water nearby. Large herbivores needed to drink every day. Following their tracks could lead directly to hidden watering holes. Even insects helped. Clouds of mosquitoes often revealed standing water long before humans could see it. Nature became an enormous survival guide. Rain was another precious gift. Whenever storms arrived, prehistoric people probably collected rainwater using whatever they had: animal skins, large leaves, wooden containers, or simply natural rock depressions. Fresh rainwater was usually much safer than drinking from muddy pools. Every storm became an opportunity. Winter created completely different challenges. Everything looked frozen, but surprisingly, snow wasn't always the best answer. Eating snow directly forces your body to spend valuable energy warming it. Too much snow could actually lower your body temperature. Instead, people likely melted snow near a fire whenever possible. Liquid water kept them hydrated without stealing precious body heat. During the Ice Age, that difference could save lives. Mountains offered another advantage. Streams flowing from glaciers were often crystal clear, but mountain water wasn't automatically safe. Rockfalls, dead animals, or minerals dissolved in the water could still create problems. Ancient humans couldn't test water in a laboratory. Instead, they relied on generations of knowledge passed from parents to children. Drink from this stream. Avoid that valley. Never trust water after heavy rain. Simple rules, powerful survival tools. Now, imagine you're exploring a forest after several dry weeks. Every stream has disappeared. What now? Ancient humans became incredibly resourceful. Some vines contain drinkable water. Tree hollows can collect rain. Large plants sometimes trap surprisingly clean water inside their leaves. Certain roots even store moisture underground. These weren't magical discoveries. They came from centuries of trial and error, sometimes deadly trial and error. Here's something fascinating. Humans weren't the only ones searching for clean water. Many animals prefer clean water too. If birds, deer, or other healthy animals regularly drank from a particular stream, that was often a reassuring sign. But prehistoric people still stayed cautious. Predators also knew where water was. A peaceful river could suddenly become a hunting ground for wolves, lions, or bears. Getting water wasn't only about avoiding disease. It was about staying alive long enough to drink it. Everything changed with one incredible discovery: fire. At first, fire was mainly used for warmth, cooking, and protection. But eventually, humans realized something remarkable. Boiling water made it safer. Nobody knew why. They didn't know about microorganisms. But groups that boiled suspicious water often became less sick. The science wouldn't be understood for tens of thousands of years. The benefits were noticed long before the explanation. Some researchers also believe early humans experimented with simple filtration. Imagine pouring muddy water through layers of sand, gravel, charcoal, or cloth. Would it remove every dangerous organism? No. But it could improve taste, remove dirt, and make water much clearer. Combined with boiling, it became even safer. These weren't modern water filters, but they were clever survival innovations. Now, let's imagine something. A family reaches two different water sources. The first is a beautiful flowing stream. The second is a warm, still pond filled with insects. The children want to drink immediately. The adults hesitate. They've seen this before. Last summer, another family chose the pond. Days later, several members became violently ill. Nobody understood bacteria. Nobody had microscopes. But memory became stronger than science. That memory shaped survival. Generation after generation. Ancient humans didn't survive because they were lucky. They survived because they learned. Every mistake became knowledge. Every successful journey became experience. Over thousands of years, people built an invisible survival manual. Look for flowing water. Watch the animals. Collect rain. Protect your water source. Boil suspicious water. Remember what worked. Teach your children. Those lessons slowly spread across continents as humans migrated into Europe, Asia, Australia, and eventually the Americas. Today, we simply open a tap. We rarely stop to think about where that water came from. But for almost all of human history, finding clean water was one of the hardest challenges anyone could face. It influenced where people lived, where villages were built, which migration routes succeeded, and sometimes, whether an entire group survived another winter. Without clean water, human civilization might never have existed. The next time you pour yourself a glass of water, remember, for your ancestors, every single sip was earned through observation, patience, and thousands of years of survival knowledge. And that simple search for clean water may have been one of humanity's greatest achievements. If you enjoyed exploring the hidden survival skills of ancient humans, don't forget to subscribe. There are countless fascinating stories from prehistory still waiting to be uncovered, and we'll discover them together in the next video.